What's up, Soul Warriors? I'm super excited to be sitting here with you on this Saturday night soul session. Well, we've got my good friend, my soul brother, one of my favorite humans on earth with me in here tonight. It is Martin John Garcia, the recovery mentor, the Recover Yourself podcast host, and, just a man doing amazing things with his life. With recovery and just with using his voice in a way that helps you go deeper and find the answers to that question of what's holding you back from living a life you truly desire and experiencing your life on a daily basis. Not the stories that you tell yourself, not the perceptions that you have, but what's actually happening in your life and how you can, recover your passion and live in control of your life as much as possible. Like, we can only control us. That's the thing, that's the answer to all of it. We can't make everyone else act like we need them to in order to be happy. So realizing that happiness lives within is the most vital place of awareness that you can actually get to. So listen, if you are looking for an amazing recovery app where you can find both my own and Martin John Garcia's content, then look into the Sober app. It is live now on the Apple App Store. And currently, if you're an Android user or you use your desktop or web browser, you have to go to the website is thesober.passion.io. I'll put that up. It's also in the description box. But we are live in the Sober app right now. And so if you're watching us in the Sober app, then welcome. And thank you for being here with us, man. Grab some paper, grab a pencil, get ready to just be immersed in soul wisdom and amazing knowledge and just the energy of a beautiful, grounded human being. I love this man, and I'm so grateful to share him with all of you. So if you all are ready to get into this Saturday night soul session live with me, LC, and Martin John Garcia, we're ready. So let's go. Martin John Garcia.
Man, with an intro like that, I think we just need to be quiet for a half hour. Just kind of just let that settle, man. Because that's where the wisdom is, right? The wisdom is in the silence. So.
It is. And yet we spend our lives trying to fill the silence.
Yes, we do. It was funny when you told me today what we were going to be talking about, just to put that out there. I sat with it for a bit. And, one of the things, there's this catchphrase that's out there, limiting beliefs. That's your limiting belief. You have a limiting belief. Belief. Yes, we all have these things that we call limiting beliefs. And we can look at limiting beliefs in a very wide spectrum. We can. This is just riffing off of your intro and what we were talking about, this idea of how do we get in our own way and how can we really live who we are?
Yes.
And limiting beliefs are there. And like you said, perceptions are there, like the perceptions of our lives, and those could create limiting beliefs.
Yes.
So our perceptions are behind a lot of limiting beliefs. Our perceptions some of those may be limiting beliefs, but what I want everybody to understand is so much of that is a symptom. Just like your addiction, if you're coming out of addiction, like myself, it was a symptom of the problem. The problem is not that you have a limiting belief.
No.
The problem is that you're not aware that you're limiting yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And you can change, I think. And this is when I work with clients, this is what I believe we do. It's hard to say what we do when we work together, because it's hard for me to say what we do because I'm not the one doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
When my podcast, when I work with people, all of it revolves around this concept of recovering to something, recovering to who you are, right? Recovering yourself.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how to do that or what is going to happen or what's in the way.
Yeah. Or what that even looks like.
Right. And I'll tell you, I don't give a fuck about your symptoms.
Yeah.
You know, I had a client one time come to me and she literally had symptoms of autoimmune disease stuff. Because I don't just work with people that are coming out of recovery, mainly because recovery is for everybody.
Yes.
We cornered the market in recovery, right?
Right. That's right.
We really love it because, but the only reason that that's the case is because because we're recovering from something society hates.
Yes. Absolutely.
If society loved what you did, well, why do you got to recover from it?
Right.
You know, like,
right.
So it's difficult, but we talk about recovering yourself. And so I only get you to focus on the root of the problem. I take you away as quickly and often as possible from the symptom.
Well, and that's why your coaching program or your mentoring program is like 4 sessions long, because you're cutting past so much of the messy bullshit that's really not the problem that we stare at, that is the problem, but it's really not the problem. And you take someone on an express, an express train straight to the root. And you know,
and it's not for everybody.
Right.
Like if you want to focus on your limiting beliefs, I got a limiting belief that I can't have money.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. My guess is that at the root of that is something that's affecting your relationships.
Yes.
And something that's also affecting your ability to, accomplish anything of value in your life.
Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
And it's not about your inability to make money. Right? It doesn't have anything to do with that, really, because money, like that's just another fucking thing.
Yeah.
Just like a relationship is just another fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so important to find the root. And to dig up the root. And so, okay, we could broad spectrum limiting belief. And we can say, yes, at the base of everything, it's a limiting belief. Yes. Okay. But I still want to make sure that we're looking at the root of things. And the root of your problem isn't because you believe you can't make money or because you were taught some shit.
So correct. So correct. Yeah, it always goes deeper. Like you can always ask a deeper truth question, in that, what you end up landing on, by your first branch, you probably still have, 17 more branches to go until you actually get to the root of what that one limiting belief is. And I think when we pay so much attention to the limiting belief, that's because that's marketable. It's not marketable.
Right. The symptoms are marketable.
Yeah. Yes, the symptoms are very marketable, and it's not marketable to really go deep to the root. Because once you do that, once you cure your limiting belief about money, there's going to be so many, because that one limiting belief is the branch. It's not the root. So even if you change that, you're going to start to find that, well, I fixed that, so why isn't it all working? Or maybe you start getting the money and you start losing the relationships. Because like you said, it goes back to a relationship. And so I think we sell ourselves short when we only seek out what is marketable and we don't go deeper, to folks talking about and exposing the root.
It's interesting because I'm changing my pricing model to
Mm-hmm.
not have a top end.
Beautiful.
Because I don't have a product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I'm offering you has literally no value, right? Like, because it has no value to anybody else but you. You are the only person that what I am offering can have value for, because we are not looking at a limiting belief. We're not looking at what you learned from your parents. We're not looking at, like, all of that stuff is like, all of that stuff is stuff.
Yeah.
All tangible in the manifestation.
Yes.
When I want to, what I want you to do is grow beyond all of that, and to put all that to bed, and pick yourself up and be who you are, right? Be that. And I don't know, like, I feel very far afield right now, and really kind of speaking really deeply, and maybe we should bring it back.
No, because I want to.
Okay,
no, because I want to say this.
Like,
yeah, no, I want to stay here, because when we're talking about this, what this looks like, and I was thinking about asking you what this looks like maybe in a client's life, but then I don't have to ask you that, because I know what it looks like in mine, because we have to go back to, the time that, I was freshly trans, freshly in my transition, and very identified with that, thinking that I was now in the process of healing a root, when in fact it was a branch. And had you never asked me that, the question of, is this your, identity? Like, because if this is it and this is all you got, then every time it gets challenged, you're going to find yourself in a space, and that in and of itself helped to caused me to go deeper, to the point now where, part of my life's work is trying to tell other people in transition that do not build your whole self identity on this one branch. Let's go deeper, so we're whole people, and it's no longer really about gender. We're just whole human beings. And part of that gender is just a big mix into the whole. It's not the whole, it's a mix into the whole. And you will do yourself just such an injustice if you only change your body, and you never ever change your heart. Because what I've learned, and by asking that deeper truth question in the beginning, is I've learned so much about myself and what I truly believe masculinity is, and how much of the shit I've moved away from it, to where what I used to believe masculinity and femininity were perceptions and beliefs, because it's not true. And going through this process, both internally and externally, there's a whole lot of like research going on in my soul about this. And so had what we're talking about right here, just to bring it into that picture for people to understand, go to the Recover Yourself YouTube channel, or Martin John Garcia. What's it under? It's under
martinjohn.com. The podcast, there's just a podcast page.
Yeah, but I mean, where was the YouTube channel? What's the YouTube channel we did that whole portrait session on? Because if you guys want to watch it looks
that's
like,
that's Chicago Arts. I think it's
okay.
Let me double check really quick while we're talking. You take the realm,
and see if we can put a link maybe in the chat, because if you want to see what it looks like happening in person of a human being.
Did we do that live? I know we did that. Was it during the portrait?
Live. Bro, you said that to me right before we went live. And so throughout that whole thing, that's why your portrait
pissed me off.
You pissed me off. I was so mad in the beginning. I was just like, God, you can't say that to me. You don't understand.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Know. Like, because you're being a bitch. You're sitting around being a bitch. Fucking.
I was so upset in that, but yet at the same time, like I felt it, like I knew like I knew Martin's heart because we had already met and done a couple podcasts together, mine and his, but I just felt like I knew the heart of this man. Like I understood what he was asking me, but my ego was a bit tiffed. And I was so grateful to have the awareness, even the little awareness that I had at that time, to have the awareness of realizing that my ego was not me, like that you had tiffed my ego. And the inner part of me, the innermost part of me said, that's a valid question. Let's explore, and having the awareness to be able to sit in the space of those two having that conversation within me, and inner being winning because, ego had
Like,
no points to make because we had been through that shit before.
Yeah.
So ego had no points to make.
And it's really interesting because, like, who am I to tell you about your fucking body? But that's the thing. Like, for me, I wasn't telling you about your body.
No, you weren't.
I was telling you about what I was not comfortable doing.
Right. You were telling me, and it was like almost like a warning to a friend in a way, like, because that's how I heard it was. Be careful. Like, don't do that. And my inner being was saying the same thing. Be careful. Don't do that. We've done that before. And you remember how it, because I ended up having a stomach surgery because I thought being thin was going to make me happy, was going to make all of the addiction and inner turmoil and all that go away. So if I was just thin, then it'd be okay. So I had done that in my 20s already, and I was about to do it again. And so it was like a warning to a friend to be careful not to do that. And it was life-changing in that moment. But in that video, like, that is truly happening within me. It's like this meld of deeper truth that's happening within me. And the portrait that you caught during that, the facial expression and everything was exactly the way my soul was looking in that moment, like just very in deep of this question, because without the identity, and that's what we have to talk about here, because without being able to build the identity on an outside truth, maybe an external truth, like, and we do it in recovery all the time when we build our identity on I'm an addict and I'm recovery and that's all I am. And that's what sells us so short in our own stuff. And we'll never be truly whole with that because our inner being knows that's a fragment. It knows that. And that's why we keep getting more and wanting more. And so, it's an amazing thing what you do.
Oh, thank you. So I put the link in the thing. You can see that.
Good.
That's the link. That's the direct link to the video. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so
it's a
so you guys know what you're getting into. This link, if you get a chance to check it out, is me and Lona doing a portrait. Like, I'm painting his portrait.
Yeah.
And I believe what had happened before was we were talking about how I was going to introduce him into my podcast, and I'm gonna. Can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he told me that he was he was like, oh, in full transition. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with telling anybody about what kind of transition you're undertaking, because one, if you change your mind, you have it posted here, and that's fucked up. Even if you are currently on an honest track to full transition, that's not about anything.
Right.
Now, for me, as a cisgender white dude,
who's a fabulous ally, by the way. Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely.
This man is him and Pamela are the two kings and queens of the trans allies. And Kim Bellis too. Like, you guys make a great like
I
triples
mean,
of allies.
I don't
So
know if people know, but I did the full pre-production when I got diagnosed with MS. I was in the middle of a fund for a documentary on a movie called Transfiguration, which was a documentary on trans people in ministry. And I had called and contacted 30 different people that were in different ministry positions. Some of them had transitioned and then got into ministry, and their people didn't know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people built ministries during and after transition, sometimes before transition after they had their position. Some were kicked out of the churches that they were part of. But either way, that's what it was about. And it had nothing to do with living trans in any way. It had to do with the understanding, and this is probably what keeps people fucking down. It had to do with trans people are the only people on the planet, to my knowledge, that regularly have to transition publicly. I can transition jobs, ain't nobody know. I can transition emotions, ain't nobody know. I can transition relationships, ain't nobody have to know. I can transition everything in my life here and there, from being a happy person to a depressed person, and I can fake it every fucking day. And most people out there watching this right now know that. I can transition from being an alcoholic to a sober person and fake it all the way. I can become a sober coach while faking it.
Amen.
I can be the president of the United States while faking it. You can fake it no matter what the fuck you do, but when you change your gender, bitch,
No,
you can't fake that shit.
You sure can.
That shit is loud and proud.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I went through recovery 21 years ago. Go me. But you know, and a lot of that early days faking it. But then I realized what I was doing, and I owned it. And that's what really kind of established what was going to be Recover Yourself. What was going to be recover to something, motherfucker. Like, this ain't about recovering from anything anymore.
Yes.
I ain't going to be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life faking it.
No.
Right?
No.
Like, and I'm not saying that recovering from is faking it, but recovering from, all it does is give you a clear mind. It gets you out from under the influence.
Yes. Yes.
And if you're living under the influence of your parents, if you're living under the influence of the economy, if you're living under the influence of your teachers and your school and your education and all that shit, you're living under the influence of it. And that's making you think a certain way. It's making you process a certain way. Yes. Just like when you're drinking every day or using every day, that product, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, is making you think a certain way. And recovering from is about thinking clearly. Good on you. Because when you think clearly, you can make a better beverage choice.
Yes.
When you think clearly, you can make a better substance choice. When you think clearly, you can make a healthier choice. When you think clearly, you can make all of these better choices.
Yes.
And those better choices will help you think more clearly.
Yes.
Well, as you think clearly, it is inevitable that you're going to want to turn your ass around and look forward at what you're thinking clearly for. And that's what recovering to is all about. That's what recovering yourself is all about. And, you know, when I don't know, I think I'm lost.
No,
We're good.
no, I'm good. We're good. We're good. You just keep rolling.
I'm just trying to see where this goes. So yeah, when it was throughout my process, throughout, like, you're always faking something, man. Like, even now, like, this is why, you know, there are some good phrases that come out of 12 step, right? We got to tell on ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First thought wrong. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. First thought wrong is great. First thought
I
wrong.
love that one.
Like,
Yeah.
just fucking like, but this is all really step 4 shit. This is all fearless inventory. You know, like, I'm not an AA guy. Left AA ages ago. Like, I got 21 years clean and sober. I mean, I've been to
Congrats.
maybe 10 meetings in 20 of those years.
But do you think you got that 21 years for the work we're talking about now?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I wouldn't have had. I went to my first meeting at 19. Didn't get sober until I was 26. I've been sober for 21 years, and 20 of those I went to 10 meetings. Right? Like, it wasn't about AA. AA didn't get me. Now, I'm not trying to say it wasn't. AA isn't helpful. AA is helpful.
Right.
AA is very helpful.
Right.
AA helped me solidify some shit and understand some shit.
Yeah.
But I also know AA was a bunch of motherfuckers that were faking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not, and maybe it's not the same now. Maybe it was just the groups I was in, whatever. But
well, I think rarely we've ever talked about going this deep. But see, that's the issue.
Yeah,
is that
that's where it starts. That's the problem.
Yeah, the people have made it out. They kind of got this stuff. You know, they had to go deeper. You know, it was the same for me. This recovery started because I was tired of faking it. Like, I could not pretend to be sober and happy for any amount of fucking time. It wasn't going to work. And I knew it wasn't going to work, and I didn't have another one in me. So it was this or death. And so I think that talking about this and us spending these last few years talking about this shit has brought more people sooner to say, oh, I can do AA and do some really deep self-work and take these questions even further down. And so that's why we got to talk about it.
You know, this is why, yes, okay, I can sit here and I can say I got 21 years. And that's great.
It is.
It is. By no stretch. But do you know how easy it is to not drink and use when you're awesome? No, I mean, seriously, like my life is the shit, but it's the shit only because, I mean, it's not like I'm making motherfucking money and not doing like all of the things that you would measure.
The things, yes.
All of the things that you would measure it. No, that's not the case.
Yes.
But you know, drugs and alcohol are definitely on the table options for me to do every day.
Yes.
But my life is so awesome. It makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
And it's not, and I think the idea that, like, they're off the table.
Right.
You know, it's not an option. When we think about it as not an option, are we afraid that it might be?
There's a deeper question.
You know, are we afraid that it might be an option for us? Because are we afraid that we want that option? Right. Because I get cravings. I can still have cravings for being high. I can still have cravings for shit. I mean, I'm in a state where, you know, marijuana is legal. And, you know, if I were to fucking like do some marijuana or whatever, like, I don't even know how to talk about it anymore now. People talk about gummies. I'm just like, I don't like gummies that don't have weed in them. Why would I want? Is it like weed flavored? That's gross. Like, I don't know. You know, like, and so I mean, I've never been into, you know, I mean, a dispensary, and you know, like, but they're around.
Yeah.
And I definitely have had those days where I'm like, oh, I can use a checkout.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, what comes with that?
Mm.
Fuck.
Mm.
I can check out now, but I'm gonna
Right.
have to, like, I know that, like, what that's gonna look like tomorrow
Yeah.
is gonna be different, and what that's gonna look like in 3 days when my body is, you know, trying to recover from all that. And it's like,
Yes.
that's not an option.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, just sit with it, you know, and
Yeah.
that always works. Always, like,
Yes.
never
Yes.
doesn't, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, and so of course there are options. Of course there are options, you know. But it's so important to understand that you're at the other side of that. You're the
Yes.
thing that you're recovering.
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
always more.
Yes.
You know, if you, like, I look at it this way. A lot of people want to be like, I love myself. And they just the default, like, I love
Yes.
myself, and it's defensive. It's like, if you really loved yourself, you wouldn't have to get defensive about me asking, well, do you love yourself?
Right. Right.
If you really loved yourself, you would be able to tell me where you don't.
Mm.
And if
Mm.
you can't, then you're probably a lot further off the mark than you think.
Yes.
Because at least I can tell you there are a number of things about myself today that I don't like.
Mm.
And, you know, there's a thing that I've been telling people recently, and recently kind of made sense to me. You know, the difference between wanting and liking. You know, wanting in this sense, not when you know, like, you can say, I like going fishing. I want to go fishing. Oh, well, okay, that's fine. You like what you want. But there are times where you want things you don't like.
Mm.
You want to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right to be angry at that person who cut me off. Yes, you do. Now, do you want to be angry? I mean, do you like being angry?
Yes.
Of course you want to be angry. You have a right to be. Someone got you upset. Yes, you want to be angry. Go be angry. Now, do you like it? Do you like that you're angry? Shaking your fist out the window. Do you like that? Because I'll tell you, I smoked, drank, used a whole lot longer than I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen.
You know,
Amen.
and it's pretty simple. But there's so much. Do you like that you're watching this right now? Maybe you like what you're getting from it. That's good. Do you like, you know, and it's not like, do you like this? Do you like that you're doing this? Because maybe you like this, but maybe you don't like that you're watching this. There's a big difference.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Because you could like The Office, but you might not like that you're watching it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So
deeper truth questions.
Asking those questions, you know, really get us to understand what we want and who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, back to the idea of limiting beliefs. Yeah, sure, limiting beliefs. But really, if you believe you have to breathe in order to live, is that a limiting belief? I mean, you're a god. There are monks who died and have not died. You want to tell me what the limit is to a limiting belief?
Yes.
Where does that end?
Yes.
Like, is it a limiting belief that you can't walk on water and raise the dead? Kind of. So how far do you want to go with your motherfucking limiting beliefs? And when you start looking at these symptoms, and the symptoms are you have not accepted the fact that you're God.
Amen.
So you don't love yourself that much when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Because
And the
when you
goal is,
start peeling away,
my goal is, well, own it as much as you can, and then
yes,
keep stepping forward into it.
yes,
Because
absolutely.
like, I'm gonna tell you, Jesus, great guy, all that kind of stuff, whatever. But like, ain't no better than me. I mean, sorry, but fuck that guy. I mean, he lived 2,000 years ago. I know consciousness is closer to me than it was then. He had access in a way that I don't. I mean, he had,
Yes.
it's all, like, it's all family. It's all who you know.
Yeah.
It's all who you know.
Oh, you know.
It's like, but I don't know nobody. And I'm telling you, I'm helping motherfuckers like be reborn.
Absolutely.
But I'm not taking credit. Like, and I don't give a fuck if people, like, man, I've worked with clients who walked away and been like, you were a catalyst. Yes, that's exactly the role that I want to take. I don't want you to look at me and fucking praise me, because it's not me. It's you. You're already God. I'm just fucking like, I just know that I am. So in order to see you, you have to see that.
Well, that's who we are.
That's right.
That's who we are. That is who we are.
That's it. There's nothing, like, there is nothing more than us.
That is who we are. And coming to understand that by peeling, and when you ask deeper truth questions, a lot of the time the answers are going to look like peeling away how far down those beliefs truly go, and then questioning that, well, why is it that I believe that? Does this really belong to me? It's a great question that I got a couple of weeks off the podcast with Brendan Watt. Does this even belong to me? How much of that belongs to you, the stories you've been told, how you've grown, all that stuff. But you got to go deeper under that, because I believe that the rediscovery of who we truly are as creators is what we're feeling aligned to. And when we say aligned, do you feel like you're being pulled like forward, like gently towards something that feels connected to you, versus that resistance of always trying to be angry and resist what doesn't sound right to you because it does something to your nervous system? Because your nervous system goes, wait, we haven't heard that goes directly against what we've heard. Wait a minute. And then we give in to the resistance versus just kind of relaxing and rolling the way your momentum is feeling to move. And I think the discovery of us and you and all of us as creators gives us a sense of, so my life doesn't have to be shit. Like, I have a choice. We're talking about free will. I have a choice. So
there's so much to this, because
oh my gosh, yeah.
Because if your life is shit, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with having a shit life. And I told someone the other day, you got to know what your potential is. What is your potential? Like, what are you capable of? And if you can wrap your mind around all of that you're capable of, right? Because, like, we have to recognize that we're capable of murder. We have to recognize that we're capable of hurting people. We got to recognize that we're capable of all of these things. We're capable of having a shit life. We're capable of giving other people shit lives. We're capable of success, and we're capable of happiness, and we're capable of love, and we're capable of all these things. And the thing is none of those things have limits. We don't have limits. And I think that when we start looking out at the world, if we can just get on that neutral side when I go into an IOP program, one of the first things I tell them is like, I don't care about your sobriety. I can't. You need to do that.
Mm.
I don't give a fuck about your sobriety. I care quite a bit about you, but you're also going to die. And that's okay. I don't want to keep you from doing anything, but I want to support you in doing everything.
Mm.
So if you need to go out and score, there's the door. But, like, I love you. Do you?
Mm.
And that's a tough thing. Like counselors can't really say, I don't care about your sobriety, but they can't. If they did, they'd burn out. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the big problem. Everyone gets emotionally involved in other people's bullshit.
Mm.
When we get emotionally involved, we get tired.
Yeah, very.
Because emotions can't just be fucking like had all the time.
Right. It's exhausting.
Have you ever heard of the opponent process?
Actually, I don't think so. No.
We're going to talk about the opponent process. I got 10 minutes, some shit.
All right. Get it.
Always. This opponent process is great. The opponent process is your body's ability to not feel strong feelings. It is the center of your ability to be resilient. It is so important. If you and your boys at work every Friday go out and have drinks, your body gets used to it, and your body runs the opponent process. This is a process to oppose whatever strong feelings it is you are going to have. Well, alcohol gives you strong feelings. It gives you, it lowers your sense of it. All feelings are chemical. So whether you're taking a drug or whether you're having anger spells or whatever, your body will oppose that. So if you go out every Friday at 3:00, you guys go out at 5:00, at 3:00, your body's ready and it says, hey, motherfuckers, we're going to run the alcohol protocol 3:00 every Friday because this motherfucker goes out and has 4 pints. Cool. You go out every Friday, you have 4 pints, don't even have a hangover on Saturday. NBD. Well, your softball team on Wednesday is going to go out and they're all going to celebrate some bullshit and at a different bar, different people, all these different things. You go out and you're like, hey, I have drinks every Friday. I always feel good, whatever. You have a couple drinks and then your body goes, what the fuck is this? It's like, do we got to run the alcohol protocol? It's just like, no, it's Wednesday. What are you talking about? It's like, all right. After 2 drinks, you're already feeling it. You're feeling like fucking woozy. And your body's like, no, we got to run the alcohol protocol, but we're already behind the 8 ball. Well, you get wasted after 3 drinks. You go home, have a hangover all day Thursday. Friday, you go into work and are like, I'm not going to drink tonight because I don't know what the fuck happened, but I can't handle this. 3:00 comes around. Everyone's just like, run the alcohol protocol. It's Friday. That's why you get that itchy tongue at 4:00. Now, usually it's not a big deal and you don't notice anything because when you get to the bar, you have a drink too sweet. But this time, you order a Coke. You sit down and you drink your Coke and you start to notice that you're feeling jumpy. You start to notice that everyone's talking really loud and it's getting on your nerves. You start to notice that you're feeling anxious. Because the opposite of being drunk is being anxious, is being jumpy, is being irritable. That's what it's opposed. In order to oppose alcohol, it has to make you feel this way. So then you go back to the bar and you say, okay, now I'm going to have a drink because I can't handle this, or you're going to leave. And if you leave, the alcohol protocol is still running. So you're not done. You just left the place.
Mm.
Who knows if you're going to pick up a 6-pack by the time you go home.
Right.
Now you drink, and then you realize that maybe because you started late, you're going to put down a couple more. Now everything starts to tick up just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Now, in order for you to feel normal, you have to have a little more. And that is what the opponent process does. Now, think about this in terms of your coffee use. If you have an opponent process of drinking coffee, you wake up and you feel kind of fine and you drink coffee. Well, then you drink coffee every day. Your body, by the time you wake up, is running the caffeine protocol. How many of you that are listening wake up and say, I can't do anything until I have my cup of coffee? Do you think that's normal? Your normal is now required. Your coffee is now required in order for you to be normal. In order for you to be normal, you have your body is now fighting you in leaving something behind. You know, my workshops, as you know, I ask the question, how many of you drink coffee in the morning? How many of you choose to drink coffee in the morning? Everybody raises their hand, of course. And then I ask, how many of you actually made the choice to drink coffee or just executed a decision you had made a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're just executing a decision, who's making that decision? In a way, you're living under the influence of coffee and not making the decision for yourself. Now, is that a limiting belief? No. But it is lack of awareness.
Yes.
And when you exist with lack of awareness, you will build anything into your life, from relationships with substance to limiting beliefs to perceptions of untruths to all sorts of things. And I'm not trying to say you're building those. You built those when you were 2 years old. But now that you're an adult, presumably, you have the ability to become aware of ridiculous ideas that you're holding on to that you built when you were 2 years old and that you're continuing to believe in, even though if you were to consciously parse it apart, you'd be like, wait, that's fucking ridiculous.
Goes back to the like question.
What's that?
It goes back to that question, the like question, or do you like
that you're doing this?
Yes.
That's it. Like, if you can ask yourself that randomly throughout the day, that will put you in a position of at least becoming aware that you are probably doing things that you don't like and are not even aware of it. Do you like that? You're going on Instagram again. Do you like that? You just picked up your phone. And I'm not saying stop those things. Become aware that you might not like them and they will eventually stop on their own.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take action. All this fucking action everybody wants to take. Let's get rid of your limiting beliefs. Let's get rid of this. You have to stop doing this, and you should start running, and you should journal. You should wake up at 5 a.m. and
make 14 lists and read them twice a day. And
fuck that. You know what's best for you. I worked with a client recently. I didn't tell her to do shit. The next day, she did a drawing of like this image that came up while we were working together. I didn't tell her to do it. Was it lethargic? Was it good for her? Was it therapeutic? Yes. Why? Because it was her. It was all on her. Had nothing to do with me. Because if I would have told her, oh, you should make a drawing and a list, like she would have been like, now I got to do this chore.
Yes.
But you know what? When you give people themselves, when you get people to see themselves, they'll be themselves.
Yes.
And then they can figure it out on their own.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's the only way you're going to do it. You want to, like, like if you focus on your limiting beliefs, you're focused on limiting beliefs. And then,
Right.
like you get to get yelled at by some coach you're paying.
Yeah. And you're chopping your weeds off right at the surface.
Right.
And they're
That's
just
it.
popping up everywhere.
And behind that, and it's like, okay, well, I took care of this, and like now I'm making more money, but all my other shit's falling apart.
Yeah.
Because I didn't fucking look into it.
Right.
I just chalked it up because what we got to, we got to a fucking, and I don't know who came up with it, like the catchphrase limiting belief. But whoever did,
marketable.
like, it's marketing gold, like,
That's it.
because everybody has them. Everybody has them, but they're symptoms. And the thing is getting down to who you are is going to be the thing that gets you beyond each and every one of those. Like, you could skip looking at your limiting beliefs because you're going to overcome them by being yourself. If you want to get rid of every problem you have to get to the root, it's going to take you fucking 6 lifetimes.
Ooh, yes.
If you look at the root, all of those things fade away quick.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Like I was talking to a client not long ago, and I asked, I was just like, I bet over the last 3 weeks, because we had seen each other the third time, so it was only 2 weeks. I bet all of the relationships you have in your life right now are different. And she was just like, yeah, my daughter's better, my mom is better, my sister's better. It's like, none of those motherfuckers changed anything. You changed. And so everything around you changed.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with limiting beliefs, has nothing to do with them. They are just avatars in your life. I tell people all the time, it's just like, look, I don't have will in your life. And you don't have will in mine. You are just a character. You're just a prop in my life. And I am just a prop in yours. And if you think that you're going to change me, you have to recognize that the only way to do that is to change you. Because I'm just a prop. I don't have will in your life. You can't. Like, I can't hurt you.
Amen.
But you can. And you can create a world in which you believe that I can. And be my guest. I will be the prop you need me to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I recover myself, when you recover yourself, it's much harder to be pulled into being the props of other people's lives.
Yes.
Because you know who you are.
Yes.
And they have no power over that.
That's so true. That's so true.
I don't think anything that I said today made any sense.
I think that it makes way more sense than you understand. This has been a beautiful dance. It just felt like we've just done a waltz all the way through. It's funny.
I've done a lot of talking. I like to talk.
No,
but I question this. I like, sometimes I say, like, do I talk to hear myself talk? And I don't think I do.
No, no.
So I hope what I was giving was
no,
was good.
Because this is a message that we are all working on a place of becoming aware of. There is a shift in collective consciousness, and it starts with us. And what we're talking about is the way to finally heal some of this, this shit that we have developed as, a humankind, and some of the things and the ways that we are from a place of skipping the root. Of trying to gain more and get more, because that's happiness and this is happiness. And as a human beings, the only way to know true divinity is to know your true self. And we don't mean true self like live your gay life out loud, live your trans life out loud. I'm not talking about stuff like that. Live your recovery. That's not what I'm talking about when I mean know yourself. I mean know yourself as, a divine creation, and creator, and understand that if you get to the root of who you really are, the rest of that shit is not as important as you once believed it to be. And so, you know, I'm so grateful that today, you know, that I'm not just a recovering trans man. Like, that's so empty. That's empty.
Damn right it is.
It's fucking empty. And, you know, and the ability to really learn who you are and connect with that self of you, that divine, that divinity of you, as you get to see the divinity in someone else. It means all that shit that you thought mattered don't matter anymore.
But the thing that this, you're right, you can see the divinity in someone else. Yes. But what touches me and surprises me and amazes me more than anything is that someone else can see the divinity in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
absolutely.
And I don't know who's listening, but I know I have touched many, many people in the sober community.
Yeah.
And I am grateful for that. And I think it's something that I bring everywhere I go. And I'm not done healing.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's ongoing.
But the fact that I could just be me. And I'm fairly humble. I know I was earlier saying I'm a god and I'm awesome and all this. You know, I'm a pretty humble guy. You know, I mean, I am God, but you know, still pretty, you know.
You are.
And approachable and stuff, you know.
For sure.
But I think all of those things, you know, like really kind of come down to like, yeah, like I want to show you yourself. I want to show you you. And so I don't want to shine. I don't want to take center stage because you're the star in your show. And I just want you to see that.
Yeah.
I just want you to be that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't. You know, I went on a swamp tour down in New Orleans before Katrina. And I was a city kid. And I didn't know much. It was like, you know, there's a lizard, there's alligator, there's this and that. I didn't see shit. It was just like, look, son, like, I can tell you, I can explain where it is. I can't show it to you. When I finally saw something, right? Like a toad or some shit, like on a fucking on a log. And I was like, oh shit. And I just started seeing things more and more. Lizards, alligator, fucking crocodile, whatever it is. Like birds, fucking, you know, stuff. And it was just like popping out. And that's like awareness, man.
That's it.
You know, it's like, and just because I saw a bunch of stuff doesn't mean I didn't miss a bunch of stuff.
You're right. And
it's always changing.
Yeah.
And so you just sit on the raft and look. It's all you can do. You know, if you have a limiting belief, you have a limiting belief. You want to focus on that, okay, you go ahead. That's fine. But that's not going to get rid of anything.
Yes.
Like you maybe you can focus on this one thing. It's kind of like, I want to quit smoking. Okay, you want to quit smoking. Why'd you start?
Yes.
Or like we did, just fucking like cold turkey or program or fucking get put in prison, right? Like all of a sudden, like just ain't there anymore. Okay, well, force yourself to quit. But problem's still there.
Yeah.
The reason's still there. It's all still there. Yeah, you stopped using. Good on you. Good on you. Absolutely good on you. But So fucking what? You stopped using and now you're exercising and telling every motherfucker to exercise. You're just as big a pain in the ass as you ever were. So did anything change?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
love it.
I'm just talking.
That's the key to fucking recovery right there. That's the key to it, man. That's the key. No, you've shared so many great truths here tonight. This will be an episode that I actually go back and watch a couple times. I've written down clips after clips, man. I'm learning to edit,
Oh,
and
look at you.
I'm not as, I'm definitely not anywhere near Martin John, but I've learned to make clips and I'm going to make them.
Yeah.
So it's been an amazing conversation, one that we, would have on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And I'm so grateful that we're having it here on a Saturday and that other people can join in. And that's the magic of conversations that we have. They're often, like other people need these too. So,
and speaking of conversations, I want to just kind of give a plug out to Wisdom, the Wisdom app. I am a speaker on the Wisdom app on Tuesdays at 1:00 p.m. Central Time. I invariably will do a on recovery talk. I will do a talk entitled On Recovery, and I'll go on there and talk about some aspect of recovery. Wisdom is an audio social app, and I go on weekdays and do the Tao of the day. I speak about the Tao Te Ching. And then I'll do other talks as well. I did a talk today just about the dark retreat that I'm going to be taking at the end of this month. But in this app, I'll be the host, and then individuals can come up and speak to me for different lengths of time. Usually I have my timer set for 15 minutes. So you and I can have a conversation for 15 minutes, and then someone else can come up and we have a conversation for 15 minutes. And with really you talking about having conversations, these are live, like, so people
beautiful,
and they're recorded so that you can make a podcast out of them.
It's beautiful,
and you can share them and stuff. If you go to my website, martinjohn.com, you can check out there's a page for my Wisdom talks. You can check them out there and join Wisdom from there. Only on iPhone, iPad, Apple products. Right now, it will be coming out for Android shortly.
Outstanding. And also, I'm building a great buzz here. If you are a listener on the Sober app or you haven't downloaded the Sober app yet, Martin John's section is going to be live on Tuesday. So Martin John is also a part of the Sober app, and we are so happy and excited to have him on board with this app too. So you can download the Sober app in the Apple App Store. And for now, if you are on Android or desktop, like I said, it's thesober.passion.io. That is also down in the description of this video. So, all the links are there. Martin John stuff is there. You can follow Martin John. Go to YouTube and check out the Recover Yourself podcast. Go to martinjohn.com. Just cover yourself in Martin John, and your healing is inevitable, because he will make you think even when you didn't know there was something to think about.
Big props out to Danny and Curtis out there, Michael, and all the people that are part of the Sober app. They're doing great work. Just having yellow pages for all things sober and recovery. And even though I only say like sobriety is just a beverage choice, you need it. It's a hard beverage choice to make. So I want to make sure everybody's supported. So
for sure.
Big props. And and definitely if you're into just like the conversation that we're having here, you might want to check out that video of me doing the portrait of Lona. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it really, really is. It was an amazing day in my life, and one that I'll never forget. And I'm so grateful that it was actually recorded, to be honest with you, because I can always go back to that and say that was the day that truly began or took my awakening process to the next level, because I was still chopping some of my weeds at, a little under the surface, but still not at the root. And so that question caused me to go way deeper to the root, and it has enhanced my life in more ways than I could even count or sit here and talk about, because it's just amazing.
Just like I don't care about those folks in the IOP program, their sobriety. I don't care about your transition.
That I know.
Talk about your transition.
I know it's.
I love you, man.
I love you. I
Yeah, it
love
has
you. I
nothing to
love
do.
you.
It has nothing to do with fucking anything other than like you.
And you know what? And I'm so grateful that you carry that with you because I knew that. And had I not really like just your heart precedes you. So had I not really been associated with your heart and felt like, I was in a safe space with you, I might not have given that the
Yeah.
proper that it needed. So I appreciate you wearing your real self. Thank you for doing your healing work. Thank you for continuing to do your healing work. Thank you for going on a dark retreat here in a couple weeks to sit in the
Yeah.
dark for an entire week in Guatemala
Yeah.
so that you can come back with even more clarity. So I'm
We'll see.
super
Yeah,
excited.
we'll see.
Yeah,
I've been
gonna have
using
to,
my eyes for 46 years. Let's shut them down for 7 days. There's six
man.
days, but yeah.
I cannot wait to hear this. So you're gonna have to come back and share all that with
Oh
us
yeah,
because you're coming back with some clarity, man.
We'll talk.
We're
Yeah.
coming back with some clarity. Well, guys, go make sure that you go and follow Martin John. Martin John is just the master mentor and one of the most amazing human beings on in my reality. I'm grateful you're a prop in my reality because man, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. And I love you so much. Hey, if you guys have ever wondered how hypnotherapy could help your healing process or just help you relax, then go and get with hypnobreakthrough.com. Pamela Topchian, she's an amazing human being, one of my great friends, and she is for the Recovery Soul Food subscribers and listeners, giving a free full session. So make sure that you get in touch with Pamela Topchian at hypnobreakthrough.com. That's also in the description. Guys, until next time, I'm fixing to go live with Pamela here at 9:30 for Transgender Mentor. So we are on tonight. So if y'all want to keep looking at this face right here, then jump over to the Transgender Mentor YouTube page and join me and Pamela. Have a feeling we're going to talk a lot about this conversation too.
Well,
So
I'll be in the audience, and we'll be
all right.
chatting a bit. So
Awesome. Awesome. So until next Saturday night, you all, this has just been an amazing talk. And y'all have an amazing, amazing rest of your night and weekend. We love you.